Welcome all to our channel GTech Fluent. Our today's topic number 11 in ASP.NET Core video series is dependency injection in ASP.NET Core. So in this video, we'll discuss and understand what is dependency injection. We'll understand the service lifetime. We will check how to register the services in ASP.NET Core and the different way of injecting the dependency in ASP.NET Core. So let's start. So dependency injection is a software design pattern that allow us to develop the loosely coupled code. So dependency injection is a great way to reduce the tightly coupling between the software components. The purpose of the dependency injection to make the code maintainable. So now let's understand what does mean tightly coupling and the loosely coupling. So in tightly coupling, the software component where depends on each other in such way that for the small change in one component, you might require lot of changes in their dependent component. And this is not a good practice in the software development. Simplest way to understand, when we create the instance of the class or the services with the new keyword, the class or the service is tightly coupled. So now let's understand what does mean by the loosely coupling. So in this case, the software components are slightly depends on each other, and if we need to change one component, then it will not affect much more on their dependent component. So we can achieve this through the interfaces. So the classes can communicate with each other with the help of interfaces. So now let's understand the service lifetime. Before we talk about how injection is done in practice, it is important to understand what is the service lifetime. When we are registering our services, then we need to register with the correct lifetime to define the lifetime of the service which is created, or do we need to share between the requests. The built-in IRC container manages the lifetime of the service on their registered type, and it will automatically dispose the service instance based on the specific lifetime. In ASP.NET Core, there are the three options of this when the service lifetime is defined. The first one is a singleton, second one is a scoped, and third is a transient. Singletons means only a single instance will be created ever, and this instance is shared between the all component that required it, and the same instance is be used always. The scope means the instance is created one per request. A scope is created on every request to the application. The next is transient. The transient component are created every time when it get requested. Now let's switch to the Visual Studio and we'll see the service lifetime and registration in details. Now we are in our project which we have created for this video tutorial series. So registering the service is done into the configure service method inside the startup.cs file. So if you see in the startup.cs file, we have the configure services and it is receiving the iService collection. So ASP.NET Core Framework includes the extension method for each type of lifetime. As we discussed earlier, there are the three lifetime. First is singleton, transient, and add scope. So respectively, this service method has extension method for each. So add scope is there. If you see, we have add transient and we have a add singleton. So these are the three methods which is created for their lifetime. So to understand the service lifetime and the registration of the services, so we have created the two services into the this file. The first one is defined for the scope and second one is defined for the transient. For the singleton, we will refer the configuration because which we are already using that. So in this, simply we are logging this console.writeLine, and when a constructor or the new instance is created, it will assign the new GUID. Okay, so now let's register these services into our startup.cs file. Now we have registered our services, and let's see how to inject these services to our application. So first way to inject the services to receive the services into the constructor level. So let's see how to get the services into the constructor level. So let's go to the home controller, and in home controller constructor we will receive or inject the dependency. So let's declare private ilog scope, call it as ilog Similar way, we'll get ilog transient. We call it as a log transient, and we'll get dependency here. Ilog scope, we'll call ilog transient. We'll receive this, and we'll assign the dependency to the respective. Now we have inject the services into the constructor of home controller. To understand the service lifetime, we have created the two list to understand the service lifetime, and inside this we'll add the GUID which is created each time when the instance or the object is created for that particular services. Okay, so now let's run and see. So yes, we are getting the GUID for the each service. Okay, so another way of injecting the services is to the action method level. So sometimes we require services to the action method level instead of receiving to the controller level. So let's see how we can do that. So with the help of from services attribute, we can use that. So from services, and we'll call as a ilog scope, and we'll name it as a service, and similar way we'll get the dependency of ilog transit, and we'll call it as a service. Okay, so make more clear, so we'll add the GUID inside this list, because every time we are creating the GUID when the instance is created. So now let's run and see. Okay, so if you notice for the transit, it is created GUID two times, means the two object is created for the transit, but the scope it will not create, because as we discussed for the scope, it will create the one object for this per request, and for the transit, when it is requested or when the object is dependency is received, it will create the object each time. So in this way, we need to take care of while registering our services. So another way of receiving the dependency is receive the dependency or getting the dependency manually. So let's see how we can do that. So with the help of request services, which is included inside the HTTP context, we'll get the services and we'll get the services type of ilog scope and ilog transit. So in this way, we add the dependency or register the services into the ASP.NET Core. So please let us know if anyone has any doubt or queries on this. We will meet in our next video. Thank you.